As bad a wedding speech as I've ever heard, and that's why he's not behind a microphone. Nice to have you here in the Richard Martin Studios. Look at the glass eye. It's bouncing around everywhere.
Oh, rack.
Now look, for Villawood Properties, paying up to $25,000 of your builder's deposit at the Estuary in Geelong. That's the sponsor of the Wolfpack now on Twitter.
Is it?
Yep.
Just the Wolfpack or our entire...
Oh, so you weren't here last night.
wasn't here.
We have our own sponsor. And the best money they've ever spent, because I think the pack have gone out and bought 6 houses already. Hey, now listen, this is so let me just point it out, because they honestly, Twitter's going berserk. They want Spud let loose. We're going to let him loose, but we need to deal with the serious issue of the coaches. Hang on, I'm being straight here. And we've handed that responsibility to the Georgie Quill winner.
And Georgie's pulled the iPad out.
He's got iPad Warrior.
Thursday iPads come out.
Exactly.
Have you come prepared?
So these two are going to go at it. And we might jump in if
needed.
If it's starting to get real.
That's it.
And then we go on to the real light-hearted where Spud's going to pin his ears back.
That's
but
it.
You can be the body language coach, JB, so you can give the listeners
I'm worried
at
about
home-
you a bit at the moment.
Yeah, that's all right.
So give a quick background
Head
about
up, shoulders
what
back.
happened, please, Walker.
Yeah, well, okay, well, let's start. I know this will turn physical at some stage, but try for a few minutes to
Probably
address
will
some
at the
serious
end.
football issues, okay? I know it's coming, but just let me go for a little bit, all right? 10 days ago, Caroline Wilson in The Age wrote a news article, which was followed up 3 days later with a comment piece. But we'll refer to the news article first. It was an article written around quotes given to her by Chris Pollard, a lawyer who was once on the AFL Coaches Association body.
Former board
member. And also a very prominent lawyer who represented many coaches, including, in this particular article, Dean Bailey. Along the lines of, in this article, were comments, observations made that Dean Bailey was not supported sufficiently by the Coaches Association in the AFL tanking investigation. I want to get your thoughts on that.
My comments on that, Dana, the AFLCA and me as the CEO of the Coach Association were bitterly, and I'll say that 100%, bitterly disappointed at the timing and insensitivity of that article. What price you put on a human story, I'm not quite sure. I'm still disillusioned about that article, to be brutally honest. Well, and the AFLCA are as well. So I'd like to move on from that article.
Okay. Have you raised that issue with Caroline Wilson?
No.
Were you?
No.
You refer to that meeting, March 5 in Adelaide, Accor Hotel. There, as you said, Adam Simpson wasn't there. It was, from everything I've been told about that meeting, it was particularly fiery, Spud. It was particularly brutal. Some of it was directed at you. There were at least 3 coaches who directed some pretty strong opinion your way. These coaches who were vocal wanted you to take a stance against James Hird and what happened at Essendon. You didn't do that. Why?
Well, as I said, our number one mission is to look after the welfare of our members, and I'll put on the record, it was a unique situation. No one, and I mean no one, has handled this matter in a way that they could have reflected upon to be totally satisfied with the outcomes. Name one entity, Damo, who would be satisfied.
No, you're 100% right. It's as unique as there's been. But you've also...
Right.
No, hang on.
I'll talk about... No, can I finish? You ask and I'll... All right. I'll talk about the Essendon scenario. Do you want me to put it on the plate now? Do you want me to put it on now?
I would like you to get to the Essendon scenario, which was the initial question.
Well, here it is. The AFLCA, our number one criteria is to look after the welfare of our members. Like any other member, James Hird is a member. The AFL and ASADA are the governing body of that situation. They punish the behaviour. We, as the AFLCA, look after the welfare of all our members. Very similar to the Police Association. They look after the welfare of all their members, and if someone transgresses out of that association, the OPI take them out, all right? But the Police Association still bring them back into the fold and look after those scenarios.
I'll let Ken Lay deal with the Victorian Police, Spud, and let's just get back to football. You had senior coaches who wanted you to take a stance against James Hird. You didn't do that. Why?
Well, because I'll get back to our number one criteria, the welfare of our members, and AFL and ASADA were looking after the behaviour of that situation.
Yep.
I don't have to repeat myself because it will be glass eye.
We're heading down that path.
Our situation with James was to looking after his welfare. He's doing a course overseas and keeping his head down and at some stage re-engage with the other members of the coaching fraternity.
Well, he hasn't done that this week, has he? He hasn't kept his head down.
That's our consistent advice.
Would you have advised him to do what he did this week?
Whether he takes that advice is purely up to James.
Starting to really
purely up to him.
Have you got the support to stay as head of the Coaches Association?
No doubting that.
No doubt.
come down to the association and have a look and see what we do.
$850,000 comes your way from the AFL. Andrew Demetrio put that figure on the public record 2 weeks ago. What's your slice of that?
Oh,
Jeez.
come on, Purple.
Now they can get
Well, you
physical.
don't. No, I don't want to get physical at all. We do. I'm not here to defend myself. The
Gary.
facts are, we're
think you are.
having a review, and it'll be fantastic.
You're very
I'm
defensive.
pretty sure Purple just
No.
asked what sort of slice he was getting.
No, let's.
He did.
Hey,
He wants to
Hey.
know you. He wants to see your best, mate.
I also want to know where you think your brand's at right now,
That-
too. Because you had a breakout year last year, and
Yeah.
that was your career best year
it's,
in the
it's
media.
as good as ever. And
It's copped a bit of a batter.
It's as good as, and you know what?
It's copped
mate?
a little bit of a
No,
batter.
no,
Good as
no. It
ever.
actually gets the shoulders back and the chin out.
You
more
won that
because-
big award last year at the North Melbourne Breakfast,
Oh,
and you
right,
should have won
and
more
rightly-
awards.
And rightly so.
This won't
But,
affect you.
but I reckon
Well, listen.
your speech at your 50th, followed by the Carolyn Wilson haranguing, I reckon
I'll
it's
tell
just
you
off
what,
a little. You're off a little
Can
bit.
we get to the bottom line?
Yep.
I will not be judged by you. I will not be judged by Carolyn Wilson. I will not be judged by a former board member. I'll be judged by the
me.
184 coaches who we support.
I like it,
In
Spud.
professional development,
Strong
the
in.
18 senior
Nice, strong
coaches,
finish.
the 4 young senior coaches coming back
Strong
into the
finish,
fold.
Spud.
The coaching accreditation is
Some
the
of them want
root
you
the
out.
evidence.
Some of those coaches want you
Cameron
out.
Wing, Brad Johnson,
Righto.
these guys will
Get to the
never
form
get a
guide
job
now.
unless they get an
Put them
apprenticeship.
onto the
I can
head
tell you
wobble.
that right now.
Well done, Spud. I think he won easily.
Flat in the middle, but
Yeah.
nice, strong finish.
Last eye really went
Yeah,
berserk
it
in the
did,
middle.
but then it
Strong
suddenly-
There's a
finish.
lot of
Bang.
good people behind the scenes of the association doing a hell of a lot of good work.
Yeah, good
If you
point.
want to know what's going on, come down
What's
to
your
Albert
slice
Park.
of the 850?
Oh, he's going to slice.
I'll slice you up in a
My
minute.
brand's as strong as ever. That's what I took out
Yeah,
of
no, I did too.
for Holden 100-hour sale. It's on
Glass eye.
new, used and demonstrator vehicles. Ends this weekend. Next, we take a look at the head wobblers. The 8 acceptances that are in and can't be moved.